Hi guys, it's John here from Xpos. Welcome to this week's edition of Friday Freebies. This week I'm going to take you through how to complete a stock take or carry out and complete a stock take within Xpos. Okay, so without further ado, just a couple of things regarding stock taking. So why should you stock take? So stock taking is a fundamental part of any business that carries stock. Retail wise, especially in golf shops, regular stock taking is a real driver for, first of all, making sure your inventory is correct. So it's great that you're making lots of money through the business and your margins are good and you've got a healthy profit. But if at the back end you've potentially got some inaccurate stock, so maybe booking in of deliveries is incorrect, the admin is maybe incorrect, or you've actually got stock loss via damage or theft, regular stock taking can pinpoint and help you to isolate those problems so you can tackle them much quicker. So we do recommend doing regular stock takes. So maybe have a look at categories of stock. So your high value products like electric trolleys, waterproofs, golf shoes, look at your hardware as well. And then by monthly, sort of regular weekly, monthly stock taking, you'll be able to, as I said earlier, look at the categories where maybe you might have potential issues. So I'm going to take you through today how to carry out a stock take. So first of all, a stock take is started and carried out on Xapp. So we've got Xapp Pro on my phone here. So we're going to go into Xapp. Now, the login for Xapp is your Xpos account, email and password. So I've already logged into my app. I've got my shop here, we can see at the top. Then if everyone has been stocking in deliveries in the past using Xapp, we'll see stock in at the top here. But I'm going to create a stock take today. Now, just to mention, create and start stock take, what's the difference? So create a stock take is where you're creating a stock take for the first time. Then it might be when you create the stock take and you save it, before you actually carry out the stock take, you've just created it, you're about to carry it out, you'll get a message to say, would you like to start this stock take now? If for any reason you can't start it straight away, you can say no, and that will save the stock take. And then a bit later, maybe an hour later, later in the day, you can come in and press start stock take, and then any stock take that has been saved but not carried out can then be started. So that's the difference between create and start. So we're going to create a stock take. Now, first of all, to mention, if you're doing the whole lot, so maybe this is your 6 months or yearly stock take, you would be able to tap on golf shop. Now that would select everything within the business. Obviously, we can see this arrow on the left here. We can see that everything has been ticked. If though you're just going to stock take your group of, say, bags, all of your golf bags in the business, we would select bags. If though you do want to just carry out a stock take for stand bags or trolley bags, this is where you can see your subgroups. So I'm just going to show you a few subgroups here on my system. So you can see here, it might be you're going to do, men's shirts or ladies' shirts, that kind of scenario. So today we're actually going to do a stock take on golf balls. So I'm going to stock take golf balls. And next we're going to look at the brands that we're going to stock take. So we're going to tap brands at the top right. Now on this screen, the category that we chose, so either the subgroup, the group, or the business, would then display the brands within that category. So because I've selected golf balls, these are the 4 brands that I've actually got within golf balls. So I have the option to stock take one, multiple, or all of those. So if I wanted to do all my brands, I would select all. If I wanted to pinpoint the stock take down, so it might be that you want to do a men's driver stock take on subgroup men's drivers, but only on Callaway or tightly golf balls. It really narrows it down because maybe that's where you think you might have an issue. So I'm going to select all here, and I'm now going to go to details. Now in details, we always recommend typing in a name of the stock take. So I'm going to put in golf balls. The reason being is otherwise it'll just get stamped with a date and time. So it's much, much easier to look at by putting a name in. And I'm going to save my stock take. This is the message we get here. So if we didn't want to carry out the stock take for any reason, so maybe I'm creating it to carry it out in an hour's time, we would press no, and then we'd be able to, on the main screen, press start stock take. But I'm ready to start my stock take today. So I'm going to press yes. And it'll bring us now into the scan screen. So I've actually got some golf balls here now. So I'm going to zap away now using my handheld scanner. That's sent my quantity to my phone. So I'm going to just pop in my actual quantities here. Now, if you came across clothing, we would always recommend just zapping every single item. If you came across smaller goods where, like golf bags, shoes, again, scan every single item. When it comes to golf balls, confectionery, tees and gloves, we'd recommend making sure, first of all, they're all in the correct sizes and colors, but then I would pre-count those quantities first because it makes the stock take much easier to do and much quicker, much more accurate. So I've actually got 9 sleeves of those balls. So I'm just going to pop in my quantity on the screen here. And now I'm just going to work my way through. I'm going to do my next golf ball. There we go. Again, the main thing with a stock take is pre-counting and getting, the shop organized. For example, if you're doing clothing, I would recommend putting the clothing into order of sizes. That way, if you do come across an item of clothing that is missing a barcode, generally you should have, you probably find that there's one before or after it because, you've got multiples of that product. Likewise, golf shoes, having them in order just makes it much easier for any sort of line checks or anything you're doing afterwards. Right, I've got my last barcoded product here. I'm just going to pop in. And I've got 25 sleeves of those. Now, I've actually got my last item, which I've got a product here now, which hasn't got a barcode. Just want to show you how you add that in. So quite common that occasionally you might, more so maybe clothing or something like that, or the golf shoe boxes where the barcode's a bit distorted or barcode's missing. So how do you add that into a stock take? Really, really easy now. You tap select product. And in here now, we will see a list of everything that is within that category in Xpos. So these are all of the variants of all the products within that category I chose. So these are all the golf ball options in my system. So I'm looking for my Chrome Soft balls. So I'm just going to go and find the Chrome Soft. Chrome Soft 23 2-ball pack, the white. There we go. And I'm going to put in my quantity here, which I've got 22. And that's it. So I've done all my scanning. I've added anything that didn't have a barcode. Anything at this point you have that didn't scan and it wasn't searchable, I would put to one side in a little quarantine area at this point. And we're now going to press review. Now on this screen, you can still make changes. So it might be that we mistakenly put in the wrong quantity at somewhere. We can actually tap on the screen and change a quantity. The reason we see zeros on the screen, just to let you guys know, is because these are the variants of products we haven't got. So it might be you've got a glove in a small, but you haven't got a medium. A medium will still show in this list because it's part of that range of products. So we're going to send the stock take now. And we'll get a little message to say, as we can see on the screen, the stock take is saved, but not yet complete. Go to Xpos to complete. So that is a stock take started and carried out on a phone. So let's go to Xpos and complete the stock take. So we're in my Xpos system and we're going to go to Stocktakes. And we should see now that there's a stock take here, golf balls, which we can see. Brilliant. It's got today's date and it's got the time which I started the stock take. It was completed by the user, so that's myself. And over on the right-hand side, it says it's counted. So just to explain this screen, at the top here, you've got a little filter where you can filter by completed stock takes. This little message here tells you what stock takes have been counted. So what this means is that a stock take has been scanned on a phone and it's been counted and saved. So it hasn't yet been complete, but somebody has carried it out on the phone. Counting means that the person has started counting it on their phone, but they haven't pressed any button to save the stock take. Completed shows a list of all of the completed stock takes that have basically been completed within the system. You've also got an archive, which I'll mention a bit later, and we've also got a show for ump and filters, and the ump and filter would allow you to filter by maybe stock take name, brand, subgroup. So if you wanted to see all the stock takes you've ever done for your hardware, you could load that up. So let's view our stock take. So first of all to mention is in here, we've got all of the different variations or the variants of the products within our business. So what you're mainly concerned with is the expected, the counted, and the discrepancy. So expected quantity is the quantity of stock prior to the stock take that was in Xpos. Counted is the physical count on the stock take. So this is what the person counted. And the discrepancy, which is the most important one here, the discrepancy is the difference between the two figures. Now, golf balls, I haven't got too many on my screen here, but just one thing I will mention is that golf balls, so when you're looking at discrepancies, there is a little button here to say show discrepancies. So this is where you want to just view the difference in stock, so what's incorrect. So if I do that, the screen is much easier to view. So we can see here that everything on the screen is a difference from the expected to counted. Now, at this point, what we would recommend is to go back and check what you counted versus what you have actually got to make sure that you didn't input the incorrect quantity. This is where you might find there was a product without a barcode. So for example, these products down the bottom here, I actually realized that they were stocked in, but they're in my stock room. So I could actually go and check it, and I'm going to put in my quantity for that one there. Now, if you go out of this box because you've changed the quantity and it's correct, we'll see now that that's changed the discrepancy here. So there's no more discrepancy. I've actually got the same with this product. And this one here as well, I realized that this one was actually there. So I've done all my line checks. They're all correct, but I've still got discrepancies. Now, at this point, this is quite common, is no business will have zero discrepancies. So we can have a look and we can see here 22 of these products, but I should have had 16. But then the item below it, these are very similar and I'm missing those. So potentially these were sold. This product here was sold under the wrong barcode. This one here is Lake Bulls. Again, potentially that could be a stock loss or a bit of a sort of error in sale, but that's only 3 there. These two have got obviously discrepancies where this product is overstock, this product is understock. So it might well be the initial stock in, or the stock take was actually, maybe I scanned the golf balls but didn't notice the original boxes. So actually that's what's happened here, is that I accidentally scanned those without noticing that these boxes were behind. So I'll change that one over. So we can see these are my true discrepancies. Now, if at any point you want to put a note in, you could put a note of what the discrepancies were for. At the top, if you discard, it just puts you back to the previous screen. Save puts a bit of a layaway on that stock take, so you complete it at a later date. Now, I'm happy that I've done everything I need to do for this stock take, so I'm going to complete my stock take. Now, at this point, you get the option, would you like to view a discrepancy report, yes or no? So if I want to complete the stock take, but I don't want to view the report, I would just untick and press yes. But I will actually view the report to show you guys what it looks like. So on this screen, we'll be able to see a discrepancy of all of the differences, but also the value to the business. So because the products that I had more stock of was a higher value than the products that I was missing, I've actually got a discrepancy value of a plus value. Obviously, the opposite end would be a minus, so not too much there because I potentially haven't lost money, but even so, it's still a discrepancy. You do have the option to print or export this, but this will always be on the system. It is available to print at any time. So we're going to close that, and we should now see that my stock take of golf balls is now completed. So there we go. So that's basically how to create, carry out, and complete a stock take. If for any reason at all you've completed a stock take and you need to reverse it for any reason, so this is your get out of jail card, I guess. This is maybe you've carried out a stock take, lots and lots of discrepancies, but you pressed complete and you realize actually you've got all the stock that was missing. So if the stock take wasn't too big, I potentially would recommend carrying out a new stock take. That's the best practice. But if it's a very large area and you think, that needs to be done at another time, you can reverse a stock take. But if you do reverse a stock take, then that is not able to be reversed then. So that is final. So only reverse a stock take if you do need to sort of put the figures back to what they were before. One thing I will say with that then is that that will put the stock figures to the level that it was prior to the stock take. You can, as I said, print the stock take, which will just print the discrepancy report. But as you can see, doing a stock take in Xpos, that didn't take very long at all. The one thing that you can take from a stock take then is what do you do afterwards? So potentially you might want to check the history of some of those products. So if you go to the product screen, we've got your product stock in here. So if we go and filters maybe, and let's look at golf balls, because that's what we just carried out. Now from here, you'll be able to view the products that you scan. So if I use lake balls as an example, if I select lake balls and product history, what this will now give me is the full history of this product. So it'll show me all of the stock ins, all of the stock outs, and any sales. Obviously check the date range here. So you may need to select a wider date range, but the idea is that you will be able to then see the full history. And that should hopefully give you a picture of why that product is incorrect. So this hasn't had any movement. So this may be that I need to change the date to a previous date. I mean, it might just be that they were stocked in and just, I think if there were no sales, this product was potentially stolen. So here we can see here, we stocked in 100, we stocked in 50, but then on the stock take, we were -3. So that's why we've got 147. So this particular product here, we could see with the history that there were no sales or anything there. So no crossovers of sales. So this particular product, I would say that as long as we know the stock take count was correct, then I would say that that's been stolen or the original delivery was incorrect. Okay, so that's some hints and tips, guys. Hopefully you guys will start getting involved with stock taking. We always say try and do regular stock takes small and often. There's no do's and don'ts really. The main thing is that we're carrying out a stock take is much, much better for a business than not. So number one, it keeps your stock, as I said, accurate. So when it comes to buying stock and running your reports, your stock valuation reports are based on what's in stock. But also when it comes to noticing stock loss, which obviously is, kind of you massively want to nip in the bud very quickly. That's a really, really important, powerful tool to use to stock take, because you will be able to notice what was wrong. Well, thank you very much for your time, guys. I hope you found that useful, and I will see you again on the next Friday freebie.